Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Rurouni Kenshin, The Final, a Japanese action film from 2021 that is the fourth entry in this franchise. Now, I have not officially reviewed the original trilogy on this channel, but I have mentioned on numerous occasions that it represents one of the best and most consistent trilogies of all time, in my opinion, as well as some of the best examples of live-action adaptations of manga. Keishi Otomo returns as the director, while Takeru Satoh returns in the lead role, and a number of supporting actors also come back, including Emi Takei, Yu Aoi, Tsuchiya, and Yosuke Eguchi. And if you have not seen the original trilogy, I would recommend that you watch those first before watching this fourth entry, because some characters will pop in and out, and you'll have no idea who they are if you haven't seen the prior films. So AnimeNewsNetwork has a nice synopsis that I'm going to borrow here. With the threat of Shishio's rebellion behind him, Kenshin, the wandering samurai, is finally free to settle down and find happiness in the new era. Yet, all too soon, his peace is shattered. His friends and colleagues find themselves attacked without warning by a mysterious new group that has only one thing on their minds: delivering the righteous punishment upon the man who destroyed their lives, the Hitokiri Battousai. So the villain in this film shows up immediately at the beginning. Apparently he went to Shanghai and worked his way up the gangster ladder there, then returned to Japan with the resources necessary to exact his revenge on our protagonist. He's kind of a younger guy with white hair, and he has these little glasses, and he wears orange clothing at the beginning. But he's probably the best villain that we've had in this franchise. I mean, by the end of the film, you can't understand where his rage is coming from, and the ultimate resolution of this conflict does have a certain emotional resonance to it. He's also a badass, and he shows off some nice agility and fighting maneuvers when he roughs up some cops near the beginning of the film. Now, the conflict in this film is more streamlined than some of the prior installments. Some of the prior installments of these live-action films have multiple subplots going on at the same time. This one, less so. There's like a 30-minute chunk of dramatic storytelling during the opening half. That's the slowest part of the film, but it develops the current conflict quite a bit. And since this is presumably the end of the live-action storyline, there is a sense of worry about some of these protagonists, because any one of these protagonists could die, in theory, at the end of this film. So there's that aspect to it, too. Overall, I liked the story, and I liked how it wrapped things up. Now, in terms of action, this movie excels. The first fight, involving Kenshin, is a nighttime one-on-one duel with a dude who is armed with these two large curved swords. Very nice sequence, precisely choreographed as we would expect, and it's a mix of sword attacks, acrobatics, throwing maneuvers, and some surprise weaponry. There's a big action set piece near the midpoint that involves an invasion by the villain's gang, lots of explosions and chaos. It then transitions to a bunch of hand-to-hand fighting with basically all of the characters involved. So it's a very nice scene. It's really good enough to be a finale of a typical action film, but this is Rurouni Kenshin, so we get something even better near the end of this film. And the big finale is awesome. It's awesome. Again, we get a lot of fighting involving many of the characters, but this sequence elevates everything to a level, I would say, greater than anything we've seen in this franchise. And that's saying something, because these live-action films have contributed some of the best sword fighting in motion picture history, of all time. It's very, it's stylized, kind of unrealistic, but the attention to detail in these fights and the different maneuvers and stuff that these characters use, you could tell they put a lot of time into it. And for action fans, we appreciate that. This finale is legit. It really is. It's not just the overall quality, but you get the feel that this is the culmination of an action movie franchise that's kind of finishing things off at the highest level. that it's ever had. And that's a good way to finish something off. It has kind of a heightened element of excitement as well, and a few little surprises during the end, which I liked. The final one-on-one sword duel is so badass, they don't even put music over it. They don't even put music over the final fight, and they don't even need to. Like, all you hear is the clanging of the swords and, like, you know, the basically like the realistic like sound effects that would go with a sword fight. So it's really impressive stuff. It really satisfies. So Rurouni Kenshin the Final was one of my most highly anticipated films of this year, and it completely met my expectations. It might have actually exceeded them a little bit. Really good action flick. It's currently available on Netflix in the United States, and apparently they just released a prequel to this live-action story in Japan, just like a few days ago or a week ago. So, does that mean that we're going to get a more violent look at our protagonist before he, I guess, had his current way of life? Because remember, in these films that we've seen so far, he avoids killing people. His sword doesn't even have a sharp edge to it, right? So I'm wondering if the prequel is going to go into his backstory where he's, mercilessly slaughtering people and stuff, which I would like to see if they do that. So we'll have to see. We're getting, hopefully we'll get the 5th film before the end of the year. So we'll have 2 Rurouni Kenshin films in 2021, and if this prequel is even remotely as close to this 4th entry in terms of overall quality, I think this is going to go down as one of the best live-action franchises of all time. So check them out. I strongly recommend them. And as always, I will see you next time.